Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Story number 1. An Honest Mistake, written by Redshift Razor.
Jeremy, I was not aware you humans were so magnanimous.
What exactly do you mean about that, Blue? It's not like I haven't been generous to you in the past.
Oh, come on now, Jeremy. We both know that you're on the stingier half of the generosity spectrum. Until recently, I believed all humans were like you. But now I know better. That's the result of limited interactions with humans, I suppose. It seems that you're an outlier when it comes to bounty that humans provide for others.
You better not have done something foolish, dude. What in the world happened?
We both know that I'm the brains of our duo, so I should be asking you the same thing on a daily basis.
Come on, dude, just answer the question.
Fine. As you know, I recently stumbled across quite a windfall, and I was looking for something to do with it. It seems that the universe heard my prayers, because I was approached by a human who was dealing with a pretty bad situation.
Blue, you didn't get scammed out of your money, did you?
Of course not. Now let me finish anyhow. I was approached by a lovely man who went by the name of Adenergy Adela the 50th. Unlike you, he was a dapper in his appearance, and so I was compelled to listen to the tale he had to tell, and it was quite a tale he told.
Man, I dress well. You can't just appreciate my fashion sense.
If you say so. Anyways, he said that he was a prince of planet New Nigeria, deep in human sector. When I asked him what he was doing all the way out here, he said that he was in an aid mission, helping developing planets in the galactic rim, when he was suddenly attacked by pirates. Can you believe it? He went on an aid mission out of the kindness of his heart, and this is what befell him.
Jeremy put a hand on his head and almost collapsed. Instead of opting to slide down the wall, he was groaning the whole time he did so. Blue, don't tell me you gave him money.
See, that's why I called you stingy earlier. The idea of helping someone in need is painful for you, and regardless, it's not like I didn't get anything out of it.
Let me guess, sir. He offered you an exorbitant number of credits at a later date if you helped him out then and there, right?
You know, you're sharper than you look, Jeremy. He said that he needed a ship and 5 million credits to get back home, and once he did, he would wire me 100 times the amount in 2 weeks' time. I'll have 500 million credits.
A singular tear rolled down Jeremy's face, who had turned to leave the room.
Jeremy, where are you headed?
I'm going to go cry in my room. Don't you dare interrupt me. Blue watched Jeremy leave, slightly confused by the outburst before the answer dawned on him.
My goodness, he must have been so moved by my act of generosity that he was driven to tears. He's a better person at heart than I thought. When I get my money, I'll be sure to give him some. Now I just need to wait.
End of story. Story number 2. Soul 3, written by FactChance30. Unknown to the rest of the galaxy, Korgokal had mobilized. More than 200 cycles had passed since their last missed opportunity. At this time, they were ready. The signal had been received from a distant Korgrak cruiser. A young sentient species so far uncontacted by any council member had been found. Their technology was impressive for a developing race, but nothing that didn't already exist on the home on Jack. This species was promising. Initial estimates put their population at some 2 billion laborers and soldiers. It was enough to make any educated Korgrak giddy with the possibilities. With victory assured, the Korgrak High Priest announced that the news that they would soon have a vassal of their own. An entire race that would be devoted to Korgokal, offering up their own wealth and laborers to advance their masters. The High Priest was quick to make the announcement, keenly aware of the political ramifications of being the one to finally give his people what they had dreamed of. A slave species that would catapult their own civilization to a new age of luxury. The fleets were launched from all across Jack. This was a historic day, and show of force was of utmost importance for future relationships between masters and slaves. 6 top-of-the-line carriers with a full complement of fighters assembled alongside 3 truly massive destroyers and a host of support vessels. Maneuvers were perfect, and not a single crease could be found in the uniform of any crew member aboard any ship. The fleet aligned to give the press drones a perfect angle for images that would soon be seen all across the planet. This was a great fanfare as the High Priest boarded his personal cruiser and joined the fleet in orbit. One ceremonial trip around Jack later, and the fleet jumped to the position marked by the Discovery cruiser. The fleet of Korgakal sat by the fourth planet in the system. Information was discovered and cracked from increasingly complex transmission encryption systems and relayed back to Jack. The star was simply known as Sol by the planet's inhabitants. That would make the fleet's position Sol 4 and their target planet Sol 3. The target's defenses were not a problem, although there was more orbital traffic than would normally be expected from a population this size. Still, no matter. Every species has its quirks. What mattered to the present military craft were that of peacekeepers and showed the same lack of firepower expected from an uncontacted species. As translation capability was finalized and a message both greeting and domination was broadcast, the fleet blasted into orbit of Sol 3 with much more speed than was necessary. As expected, there was chaos. Ships in orbit frantically changed course to dock, some halting together, transfixed by the appearance of the alien fleet. The High Priest gave them more than enough time to come up with a reply and a method of communication as he studied the red planet below. He was beginning to grow impatient when the reply came. It came in from a short-range broadcast from a craft that suddenly decloaked just in range of the fleet. That was unexpected. There were rumors of council races with the technology to cloak a small amount of matter from light and its other effects of the universe around it. These rumors, of course, had no basis in reality. The message was just as unexpected. It was rather friendly. Humanity, as they called themselves, had simply ignored the domination part and just begun gushing and finally meeting a fellow space-sparing species. To compare themselves with the mighty Kograx was a slight that would not be tolerated by the High Priest on this day that would surely go down in history. The order was given to fire on half of the civilian vessels in range of the fleet, and in mere seconds, 40 small ships were turned to debris, including the craft that brought the incident message. Happy that both their firepower and intentions were now clearly stated, the High Priest ordered a repeat of the communication outlining the terms of their servitude. Moments passed before sensor pings alerted the fleet to a change in the battlefield and incoming fire. 2 carriers were destroyed in a blinding flash, and they appeared to be broken in half by an impact that incapacitated their immense shielding before their cores quickly detonated. The reports came in quickly. All hands lost. The High Priest was in shock. "Impossible," he mumbled, as the fleet looked for this new threat that had struck such a blow. It was then that they realized the navigation consoles had changed and now placed them at Sol 4. But they were sure that this planet was the third from the star. The console readout was clear. They had in fact arrived at the 4th planet from Sol. One destroyer was crippled by an ungodly barrage of laser fire as another vanished in a ball of light that seemed to come from the star itself. No, not the star. It came from Sol 3. From the actual Sol 3 that moments ago had simply not been there. Where they first nothing was now a planet that looked busier and more developed than any of the Council worlds. There were spaceports and cities larger than any Korgrak could dream of. They had cloaked a planet. They had cloaked a planet. "Impossible!" cried the High Priest in denial as the rest of the Korgak ships were wiped away by the defensive installation on humanity's home world. End of story. This is a special thank you to the one, the only, the legendary Eric Hino, who has become the only Tier 6 patron. Just a quick shout out to the T5 peeps: Bob the Dragon, Cat Crab Lobster, Data Magnet, Dark Machine, Try Again 95, Fudic Yol, Astrea the Dreamer, Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Athelia, Meridian 117, and Jordan Bucksmorm. Thank you very much. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed. There are links down below, both to support this channel and for the author of this fiction. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic one, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.